So today I'm going to walk you through the history of games, and stay with me because we're actually gonna walk. Thousands of years ago, early humans were already competing with each other through running, wrestling, and practicing hunting skills. Games weren't really games, they were survival practice. If you got better at throwing a spear, you had better chance of eating tomorrow or even see the daylight. But eventually, humans built cities, and for the first time in history, people had something completely new, free time, and that changed everything. Our journey starts in ancient Egypt. This is Senet, one of the oldest known board games ever discovered. The board had 30 squares arranged in 3 rows, and players moved pieces using throwing sticks or bones, basically an early version of dice. The goal was simple: move your pieces across the board before your opponent while blocking them or pushing them backwards. At first, Senet was probably just entertainment, but over time, Egyptians began connecting the game to the afterlife. Some believe the board represented the soul's journey after death, and this wasn't just a game for ordinary people. Senet boards were found inside royal tombs, including the tomb of Tutankhamun. Ancient Egyptians' paintings even showed dead pharaohs playing Senet in the afterlife. Imagine being buried with your favorite board game, because you might need it after death. Next station is headed east to Mesopotamia. Here, archaeologists discovered something called the Royal Game of Ur. The boards were decorated with shells, limestones, and lapis lazuli, which was pretty expensive. The game was discovered inside royal tombs in the ancient city of Ur, in modern-day Iraq. But here's the crazy part. For thousands of years, nobody knew how to play it. The rules were completely lost. It's like finding a PlayStation in the far future, but nobody actually remembers what to do with the buttons. So, historians later reconstructed parts of the game using ancient Babylonian clay tablets, which means humans basically reverse engineered a 4,500-year-old board game. The game itself was a racing game where players moved pieces across the board using sticks and dice rolls, trying to reach the end before their opponent. So it was probably a race game involving luck and strategy. Which leads us to our next destination, ancient Iran. In a place called Shahr-e-Sukhte, literally meaning the burnt city, archaeologists found another ancient board game buried inside a richly decorated grave with its pieces and dices. The board was made from ebony wood, and the pieces were carved from materials like turquoise and agate. So, we can say that humans already had premium gaming setups about 4,000 years ago. The board itself had a serpent-like pattern curling around the surface, and historians believe it may have been a strategic racing game, similar to the Royal Game of Ur, but possibly even more complex. 2 players raced to move all 10 of their pieces off the board first, using dice rolls to travel along a spiral-shaped path, while blocking their opponent and protecting their own pieces. While we're here, I want to talk about another incredible discovery of Shahr-e-Sukhte. A pottery goblet found there contains a sequence of drawing showing a goat jumping toward a tree. When the images are viewed in order, they create movement. It means people in the city may have accidentally created one of the earliest forms of animation over 5 millennia ago. Fascinating, right? Let's move forward to another game. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Africa. Not every ancient game belonged to kings or palaces though. Some games belong to everyone. One of the oldest and most widespread examples is Mancala. Instead of giant temples or royal tombs, Mancala was often played by ordinary people using stones, seeds, and holes carved into the ground. And that's probably one of the reasons it survived for so long. You didn't need expensive equipment, you could create the game almost anywhere. The gameplay was based on counting and distributing pieces between pits. Players moved seeds across the board, 1 pit at a time, trying to capture their opponent's pieces and collect more seeds than the other player. through careful planning and smart moves. So, the game actually trained mathematical thinking, planning, and memory. Some historians believe Mancala may have evolved from agricultural counting system. And because the materials were so simple, Mancala spread across huge parts of Africa and later the Middle East and Asia. After a while, games became more strategic. In China, people played Go or Baduk, a game so deep that even today, computers struggle to master it perfectly. And unlike earlier games focused mostly on racing or luck, Go was about territory and control, which honestly sounds less like a board game and more like politics. The boards look simple, just black and white stones placed on a grid. Two players took turns placing stones, slowly surrounding territory and trapping each other's pieces. And once a stone is placed, it's usually stayed there for the entire game. One small mistake early on could destroy your plans like 40 moves backwards. So every decision mattered like a lot. In fact, the number of possible go board positions is estimated to be around 10 to the power of 170. That's literally a number with 170 zeros, which is around twice the number atoms in the observable universe. Yeah, Go is absurd. For centuries, Chinese scholars regarded Go as one of the essential arts every educated person was expected to master. Not because it made you smarter necessarily, but because it trained discipline, strategy, and long-term thinking. Later on, a game appeared that would eventually conquer almost the entire planet: chess. Chess most likely originated from a game in India called Chaturanga, before spreading through Persia and eventually Europe. And unlike earlier games, chess wasn't just entertainment. It stimulated war. Different pieces had different military roles: king, soldiers, cavalry, even war elephants. Players had to think ahead, predict enemies' moves, sacrifice their pieces, and protect the king at all costs. And for centuries, games became a way to teach strategy, patience, and planning. As societies grow, games turned into products. Playing cards spread across the world, and board games started being mass-produced. Eventually, games became a normal part of people's life. Then, in the 20th century, everything started to change again. Games left the tables, arcades show up, then consoles, and then online games. And suddenly, millions of people were playing together without even being in the same room, which would probably confuse an ancient Egyptian playing Senate in the desert. And honestly, from the stones in the desert to the massive online games, humans haven't changed that much. We still compete, we strategize, and we gather around games to connect with each other. The technology itself may have changed a lot, but the reason that we play, it stays almost the same. We actually tried to experience something new in this video, so if you liked it, please subscribe and leave us a comment.